Imagine living a life where you're truly free. Not just free like, free from outer constraints, but free from the inner turmoil of your mind.
That's quite a thought, isn't it?
It is. And that kind of liberation is exactly what J. Krishnamurti, a thinker who was deeply respected by figures like the Dalai Lama,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, and even Time magazine,
Mhm.
pointed toward with his idea of choiceless awareness.
Interesting.
So if that sounds like something you'd want to explore, well, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives, just like this one.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's get into it. What is this choiceless awareness thing anyway?
Well, it's definitely more than just, being aware of your surroundings. You could
Okay.
think of it as like a deeper level of awareness where you're not just seeing, let's say, a tree,
Right.
but you're also seeing your own reactions to it, like all your thoughts, your judgments about it, maybe even memories it brings up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's about seeing all of that without getting, completely swept away by it.
Okay, so it's kind of like there's this difference between just, noticing a thing
Mm.
and actually understanding all the baggage, like all the mental baggage we bring to that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Krishnamurti had this great example he would use about watching an audience during some lecture.
Okay.
And on the surface, well, you just see people listening, but beneath that,
Yeah.
there's like a whole world of inner reactions happening.
Right.
Boredom, agreement, disagreement, maybe even judgments about the speaker.
Well, for sure.
Choiceless awareness is being aware of all those layers without getting lost in them.
Okay, I see. Now, this is where things get really interesting to me. Krishnamurti was always super clear that there are no methods or gurus or, special techniques for reaching this choiceless awareness.
Right.
So why do you think he was so against all that stuff?
I think because he saw them as distractions. Yeah, he truly believed that relying on techniques or like following some prescribed path,
Yeah.
it actually creates dependence,
Ah.
and takes us further from like genuine self-knowledge. Like
Yeah.
if we're always searching for the right method, it's almost like we're not really paying attention to what's going on inside us.
So he's saying instead of looking for answers outside of ourselves,
Yeah.
we need to just turn inward and observe ourselves, even in just like the most ordinary moments,
Mm-hmm.
like at work, in our relationships,
Yeah. Yeah.
even reading a newspaper.
Exactly. He saw like every moment as this opportunity for self-discovery.
Huh.
Like, for understanding how our minds work.
Oh, that's interesting. But how do we actually do that? Like, can we really free ourselves from that inner voice that's constantly judging and interpreting everything?
Well, that's the challenge, isn't it?
It is.
It's like, can we look at something without labeling it right away?
Yeah.
Without, like, attaching all the baggage that comes with language.
That sounds hard.
It is. It is.
What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments. Because, like, if I'm feeling envious of someone,
Right.
can I even acknowledge that feeling without slapping on that label envy
Mm-hmm.
and then judging myself for feeling that way?
Right. You see, that's exactly the point. That word, envy, it carries so much judgment.
Yeah.
To really see that feeling clearly, we've got to try to separate it from that word,
Okay.
like from all the preconceived ideas we have about it.
So choiceless awareness
Yeah.
is about seeing things as they are
Yes.
without the filter of our mental chatter.
Yeah, that's the essence of it. And Krishnamurti believed this type of awareness was the key to true freedom and transformation.
Wow. Okay. So how does this work, in practice? Like, let's say I want to break a bad habit,
Okay.
like smoking.
Yeah.
How can choiceless awareness help with something like that?
So instead of fighting that urge with willpower, which
Yeah.
often just creates more inner conflict,
Mm.
choiceless awareness encourages you to be present, like fully present,
Right.
with each step of that habit. So, the craving, the reaching for the cigarette, the lighting it, the inhaling, you observe it all without judgment,
Oh, wow.
without resistance.
Okay. So I'm not trying to stop myself from smoking.
Right.
I'm just becoming more aware of the whole process.
Exactly. And as you become more aware, you'll start to see the habit more clearly.
Okay.
And that clarity, well, that can be like a really powerful thing for change.
Interesting. So does this apply to other habits too? Like negative thought patterns or even, that desire to constantly become something.
Oh, absolutely. Any thought, feeling, or behavior that repeats, well, that can be looked at with this same choiceless awareness.
Right.
Even like the habit of imitating other people
Yeah, yeah.
or trying to fit in. It all comes from wanting to avoid facing what is,
Right, right, right. Okay, what about fear?
Mhm.
How does choiceless awareness help us deal with something like that, like fear?
Well, Krishnamurti thought that true freedom from fear comes from facing its root cause,
Yeah.
which he saw as like a deep loneliness inside us.
Oh, wow.
And again, that choiceless awareness is key. So instead of running from that feeling of loneliness,
Yeah.
you observe it. You allow yourself to feel it, fully without judgment.
So I'm not trying to get rid of the fear or the loneliness.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of shining a light on it.
Exactly. And it's in that space of awareness that that transformation can happen. You see, it's not about fighting what is.
Hmm.
It's about seeing it clearly without our minds getting in the way.
Okay, but isn't real change like, something that takes time?
Mm.
Can't we just kind of gradually become more aware, more present?
Krishnamurti was very clear about this lasting change. It doesn't happen gradually.
Yeah.
It needs a complete break from the me that's stuck in time, like, in the past and future.
So you're saying it's not about becoming more aware over time.
Right.
It's about like accessing a different type of awareness altogether.
Exactly. When we think uh, about wanting more love, more goodness, more peace,
Hmm.
well, we're projecting all that stuff into the future. We're
Yeah.
basically saying, I'm not good enough now, but maybe I will be someday.
That makes me think of those moments, where you're super creative and you're so absorbed in whatever you're doing that like all thought stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's like time stops.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced something like that? Tell us about it in the comments.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're just flowing with the energy of that moment.
Those moments, they're like little glimpses into that timeless state that Krishnamurti was talking about. They're hints of what's possible when we break free from the limitations of our minds, you know?
So if we can access that transformative power in those moments,
Right.
could we access it more often? Like more deliberately?
Hmm. That's the question Krishnamurti wants us to explore. And, well, that's exactly what we'll be diving into in the next part of our deep dive. This whole idea of timeless transformation, it really kind of messes with how we usually think about change, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like we're so used to that idea of like, gradual progress,
Yeah.
taking little babies,
Just observing what is without, all that judgment and resistance.
kind of like that analogy you used earlier, right? Like trying to force a door open when it wasn't even locked in the first place.
Oh, yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it really shows how important it is to understand how our minds work,
Mm-hmm.
the ways we kind of create our own limitations.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so if this choiceless awareness is like the key to this transformative power, how do we actually cultivate it?
Well, Krishnamurti always emphasized that it's not about becoming an expert
Okay.
or specializing in some technique.
Right.
It's about unlocking what's already there,
Mhm.
like inside each of us, a
Yes.
potential that's often, well, it's buried under all our thoughts and conditioning.
So it's not about adding something new.
No,
It's about stripping away the things that are like blocking our true nature.
precisely. And that stripping away happens naturally when we bring choiceless awareness to everything. Our relationships, our work, our interactions with everything around us.
Going back to what we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
we were going to touch on relationships.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, they really struggle to use this awareness thing in their relationships.
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
like, can we really look at how we interact with other people without judging them, without getting all defensive?
Yeah, that's where it gets super challenging,
Yeah.
but also incredibly rewarding. You see, Krishnamurti believed that relationships are like the ultimate mirror.
Oh, interesting.
They reflect back all our patterns and conditioning.
So, like, if I'm always getting annoyed by something my partner does,
Mm-hmm.
that annoyance is actually, like, showing me something about myself.
It is, yeah. It's a chance to look deeper, to ask yourself, why am I reacting like this? What's getting triggered in me?
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So instead of, like, blaming the other person,
Yeah.
we use that awareness to understand ourselves better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Choiceless awareness, it helps us see things more clearly
Mhm.
without all the ego stuff getting in the way.
Right.
It's about realizing that how we react to people, well, it often says more about us than it does about them.
Wow, that's such a good point. Like, it's
Yeah.
so easy to blame other people for our own unhappiness.
It is.
What about you guys? Have you ever noticed that? Like,
Yeah.
how you react to people in relationships actually says more about you than them. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know.
Because you know what I love about Krishnamurti's teachings?
What?
They're not just like these abstract ideas. They're tools, like real
Yeah.
tools we can use
Yeah.
to change our relationships,
Right.
our work,
Yeah.
even our whole way of being in the world.
He was a true revolutionary. He challenged us to question everything.
Yeah.
Our assumptions, our
Yeah.
beliefs,
Yeah.
even just how we think.
Yeah. And while his teachings can be tough sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
they're also incredibly liberating. Like they offer this path to freedom,
Mm.
freedom from our own minds,
Yeah.
and a path to a life with more presence and joy and love.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from Krishnamurti is this self-knowledge.
Yeah.
It's the foundation for real freedom and change.
It's not about following somebody else's path
Mm-hmm.
or listening to like the experts.
Right.
It's about looking inside, understanding how our minds work,
Mm-hmm.
seeing things as they are without all our conditioning messing things up.
It's like he's saying the answers we want. Well, they're right there in front of us,
Yeah.
hidden in plain sight.
Right, right.
And the key to finding those answers, it's choiceless awareness.
Okay.
This way of being that lets us see past the limits of our own minds.
It's not a destination.
No.
It's like a journey.
It is. It's this constant process of self-discovery that happens every moment.
So the question is, are we willing to put in the work
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate that awareness,
Yeah.
to like step outside of our comfort zones and embrace the unknown?
That's a question we all got to answer for ourselves. But Krishnamurti's teachings, they offer this amazing invitation to explore the power that's within each of us.
Yeah.
This power that can free us from our own minds and open us up to a world of possibilities.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Krishnamurti's Choiceless Awareness. But before we wrap up, we want to leave you with one last thought.
Mm.
One thing that really struck me about Krishnamurti's teachings on Choiceless Awareness is, well, how radical they are.
Mm.
Like, he wasn't really into offering those quick fixes or easy answers that we always seem to want.
Yeah, it's fascinating how he challenged the very way we approach those problems in life. We're so used to looking for answers outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
Whether it's I don't know, religion or self-help books or even therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
But Krishnamurti, he was adamant that real change, that true freedom, it comes from somewhere much deeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
It all starts with understanding our own minds, like
Right.
how we create our own suffering.
And it's not about, some kind of passive giving up either.
Right.
Choiceless awareness, it's really active. It's about paying attention, observing our thoughts and feelings and all those reactions without getting totally swept away.
It's like we become scientists of our own minds.
Yeah.
Just studying how it all works.
Exactly. And as we become more aware, we start to see those patterns, those habits, the conditioned responses that kind of drive us,
Yeah.
And that insight, that clarity, that's what makes space for real transformation.
I'm really curious about how this choiceless awareness plays out in relationships. Like, can we really observe how we interact with other people without judging, without getting all defensive? I mean, sometimes it feels impossible.
Yeah, it's true. That's where it gets really tough.
Yeah.
But also like super rewarding. Krishnamurti, he believed relationships they're like this ultimate mirror.
Oh, interesting.
They reflect back all our patterns and conditioning.
So, okay, so let's say I'm constantly getting annoyed by something my partner does.
Right.
That annoyance, it's telling me something about me.
It is. It's this incredible opportunity to look a little deeper. Ask yourself, like, why am I reacting this way? What's being triggered here?
Okay, so instead of putting the blame on my partner,
Yeah.
I can use that awareness to understand myself better.
Exactly. Yeah. Choiceless awareness, it lets us see things more clearly, without all that ego stuff getting in the way.
It's about realizing that how we react to people, well, it often says more about us than it does about them.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Have you ever noticed this in your own relationships? Let us know down in the comments.
Definitely. Let us know.
Yeah.
It's such a crucial point.
That's what I really love about Krishnamurti's teachings. It's that they're not just some abstract concepts. They're tools,
Yeah.
like practical tools that we can use
Hmm.
to transform our relationships, our work, our whole way of being in the world.
He was such a revolutionary, challenging us to question everything, our assumptions, our beliefs, even just how we think.
And while his teachings, they can be challenging sometimes. They're also incredibly liberating. They
Yeah.
offer us this path to freedom from the tyranny of our own minds,
Yeah.
and a path to a life lived with more presence and joy and love.
Beautiful.
So if true change really is timeless, like Krishnamurti said, can you access that power, that transformative power right now in this very moment? We really encourage you to explore that question, to delve deeper into Krishnamurti's work and to continue on this journey of self-discovery. We're confident that if you do, you'll uncover so much wisdom and insight that can really change your life in the most profound ways. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep questioning everything.